Hey, what's good everybody? It's your boy Krypts here. We're back with another video, and in today's video, we're going to be talking about a character. To this day, I still regret not summoning the man himself, Tartaglia, aka Childe. So, yes, I do have a Childe showcase here. This is not my account, this is a friend of mine, so I thank him. He will be watching this video for sure, so I thank him for lending me his account for y'all to get a video of Childe showcase. So, when Childe came out, I didn't go for Childe because at the time I was sort of free to play and I wanted to go for Zhongli instead, and I kind of didn't want to spend money, so it was either Zhongli or Childe, and I chose Zhongli. Zhongli is good and he's broken as well, and he's one of the best characters in the game in my opinion, and also Childe is too. That's the thing, Childe is one of the best DPS in the games, the best Hydro character in the game in my opinion, and honestly, because I didn't have him, I did kind of lowly rate him on my tier list, but he is really an S tier unit and honestly is one of the best units in the game, if not the best unit in the game. I mean, you could put Zhao or Ganyu up there, but Childe is still up there as one of the best DPSs in the game, and he is absolutely amazing. So today, for me, it's a learning process, learning how to use Childe, what he's capable of, his kits and his usages, right? He's an amazing character and I've been using him for like about 10-15 minutes. You know, I did some domains and all that sort, and you know, he's absolutely amazing, one of the best DPSs in the game for sure. So today we're going to be showcasing our boy Tartaglia, aka Childe. I'll probably just refer him as Childe as the rest of the video, but yeah, let's get right into it. So here we are on Tartaglia's, aka Childe's character page. So stats are pretty decent, not decent, actually really good. 2.2 attack, very solid. 20k HP, very solid as well. As you can see here, we can see the crit rate, crit damage ratio, very solid crit rate, crit damage. We got 51% crit rate with a 182% crit damage. My boy's been building Childe very well. Energy recharge, you do want it decently, you know, 120, 130 is about fine. It really does depend. I did, you know, test out Childe even with no Hydro characters with him, and he got his ultimate fairly quickly, right? But if you do run with Jin Q, obviously you get your ultimate a lot more quicker, right? So 120, 130 is really ideal energy recharge, but obviously you want to focus on your crit rate, crit damage ratio, right? If you guys didn't know, when Childe does ascend, he ascends Hydro damage bonus. As you can see, it's at 90%, which is actually very high considering the elemental damage bonus. On this build, you know, we got the artifact sets that give us a Hydro damage bonus, wink wink, and also the Goblet gives us a Hydro damage bonus, and also the ascension, right? So a 90% Hydro damage bonus is absolutely insane. So all that Hydro damage bonus is very useful. Obviously you're going to be doing electro charge damage, you're also going to be doing vaporize damage, you can also be doing freeze damage, and it also does a lot of damage with the Hydro damage bonus, right? So, you know, building the right team around Childe definitely very helps him a lot because he does proc a lot of Hydro damage bonus, right? So make sure you want to build that Hydro damage up because he does mainly do Hydro damage. I don't think he does normal attacks, like physical attacks, other than his normal like bow attacks, but all in all, you're really going to just be doing Hydro damage with Childe. Now talking about our weapons, the Skyward Harp is by far the best weapon for Childe. It increases his crit rate for sure, which is amazing, and also his passive is also amazing. So it increases crit damage by 20%. Hits have a 60% chance to inflict a small AoE attack. Dealing 125% physical attack damage can only occur once every 4 seconds. So if I'm not mistaken, you get increased crit damage by 20%. So if you saw our crit damage was 182, you can get a 200% crit damage, which is absolutely amazing. And you also get a secondary stat of crit rate, which is actually amazing. So all you can really do is focus on crit damage, right? And then you also get that high base attack on the 5-star, right? But obviously not everyone's gonna have 5-star weapons, so the best free-to-play weapon, well, not really free-to-play, but 4-star weapon you can run is the Rust weapon. I'll obviously put it up on screen. The Rust weapon is really good. You can also run the Verdicent Hunt, which is a battle pass weapon. It's also not really free-to-play, but it's also a good, cheaper option than a 5-star. Or if you really want to go free to play, Prototype Crescent works perfectly fine. Obviously it's not the best weapon to run Childe, but like I said, not everyone's gonna have, you know, Rust, Skyward Harp, and even the Verdicent Hunt, right? So it's very difficult to get those kind of bows. So obviously the Prototype Crescent is the best free to play weapon you can really run. Obviously I'll put the stats on all their screens. I won't really explain them. They're really, the best way to explain them is, you know, Substats, I mean, the secondary stats are like whatever, but obviously most of them do normal. Our charge attack increases, which actually helps Childe a little bit. So it's really difficult when it comes to Childe. The Skyward Harp, it definitely is a league in itself. But when it comes to 4-star weapon, the best choice I would say is the Rust if you do have it. If you do summon it, you might get the Rust every now and then, you know. So it's not the hardest weapon to get, but obviously not many people summon, right? So getting the Rust can be difficult. Therefore, I think the Prototype Crescent is the best free-to-play option. Now, artifact sets. Childe was pretty amazing before the Heart of Depth came, the domain and all that sort. It was decent, he did a good amount of damage, but with the Heart of Depth, it's literally an artifact. Just he's born. This is literally his artifact. This is his brother, his bread and butter, you know. This is literally an artifact set just for him, really. So the 2-piece set, Hydro damage bonus 50%, absolutely amazing. It's honestly, the 2-piece set's honestly amazing on the Heart of Depth, you know, for guys like Mona, Jin-Q and all that sort, even for Barbara, right? If you're trying to build a DPS Barbara some way, somehow. But obviously the 2-piece set is absolutely amazing, and the 4-piece set is just amazing as well. So after using elemental skill, increases normal attack and charge attack damage by 30%. So the Heart of Depth is by far the 4-piece set, the best set you can run. Now we're going to be going on the archives of the artifacts. So early games, well, obviously most likely you won't have early game artifacts and have Childe at the same time, but if you somehow do have Childe, you know, maybe you bought an account or something, or you know, maybe you had Childe in the beginning, but you know, kind of started coming back into Genshin. Early game artifacts you could run. The best early game artifact I would say probably would be the Berserker, or the Braveheart also works perfectly fine. You could also run stuff like Gambler, it's not too bad I guess, but obviously early game Childe is nowhere near late game Childe, right? But like I said, most likely you won't be using early game artifacts on Childe unless, like, you won't really have Childe and early game artifacts, right? Because he's not in banners at the moment, and at the same time, you know, unless you did summon Childe in the beginning and you know, you kind of stopped playing and then you kind of started coming back in Genshin and wanting to know early game artifacts, well, those 3 sets work perfectly fine. Other 5-star sets you could run with Childe, Noblesse is not too bad. The 2-piece set, you could run 2-piece set of that, 2-piece set Heart of Depth. You can also run Wanderer's Troop if you really want to. It's not too bad. You can also run 2-piece Glad, and then, you know, kind of combine it with, like, let's say 2-piece Glad, 2-piece Noblesse, 2-piece Hydro, you know, right? There's definitely different options you can run with Childe, but like I said, the best set by far, literally by far, is the Heart of Depth. The 4-piece set is by far the best set to run Childe. So if you're already using 2-piece set Hydro, you might as well go for the 4-piece set, right? So obviously the 4-piece set is definitely the best, but like I said, you can definitely run other sets. Even the Retracing Bolide 4-piece, this was, I think, the set people used back in the day when Heart of Depth wasn't a thing. The 4-piece set actually does help out Childe, but obviously you're gonna have to run as shield user, so characters like Noelle, Zhongli, very good examples to run with Childe, right? So there's definitely different options you can run when it comes to the artifact set, but like I said, the Heart of Depth 4-piece is by far the best set. Now, substats and main stats. So obviously I will most likely say this in every single build comp. You want to run crit rate, crit damage, you know, want to ratio it out. My friend here, you know, he's done a pretty good job. This one, a little bit, I would say, if he's watching this video, you probably need to fix this flower if you have the resin for it. But obviously, you want to run crit rate, crit damage, you know, and then you can also run attack percent and then energy recharge as the other priorities after crit rate, crit damage, right? So substats, obviously, you always want to get that crit rate, crit damage, and then attack percentage, and then energy recharge percent. For Sans, obviously you want main stat, you want to run attack percentage. This is probably the best stats for best DPS Childe and probably the best main stat for Sans. Goblet, by far you want to make sure you get a Hydro damage bonus set. Hydro damage, absolutely amazing with Childe. So obviously for the Goblet, make sure you can get a Hydro damage bonus as the main stat. And then Circlet, it's either crit rate, crit damage. Obviously it depends on your ratio and what weapon you use, right? So obviously if you're using the Skyward Harp, it gives you a crit rate. So you want to focus on your crit damage, right? Trying to get that crit damage as, you know, high as you can, right? So it really depends on your ratio, what weapons you use, obviously. So depends what you need more, crit rate or crit damage. So when it comes to constellations, I think after this video, I'm gonna just kind of quickly go through constellations, unless it's 4-star characters. But when it comes to 5-star characters, I don't really want to talk about constellations too much because it's very difficult to get constellations on 5-star because it's very expensive, and obviously you're gonna need to be a whale to have 5-star constellations, right? But if you really want Constellations on Childe free to play option, Constellation 2 definitely is probably a good spot to aim for, but even then that's not really free to play in my opinion. It's still whale, but whale, super whale, obviously you can have full Constellation, right? But it's very difficult to get full Constellation, so we're not going to talk about Constellations starting now when it comes to the 5-star characters, so hopefully that's okay with y'all. Now talents. Childe's talent is absolutely amazing. He does so much damage because of his talents, and I'll show you why. So if you look at the skill attribute, it's absolutely disgusting. So his ultimate is where you really are going to do a lot of damage. Look at that percentage, 700%. Oh dude, this is just disgusting, honestly. So if we compare to guys like Zhao, you know, you kind of do more damage here. Look at this percentage, like 300, you know, 375, it's decent, right? And then you obviously got like skill damage 400. Let's go for D-Luke. You know, you have a 300, you know, percentage there, 100, 200, right? And then you go to like, let's say Kaching, who's also one of the top tier DPS characters, right? Look at the percentage. Nowhere near Childe's. His talents on his ultimate is absolutely disgusting. Like, it is disgusting. If you hit a crit and you properly do proper hydro damage and you actually, you know, do everything right, you can do massive damage with Childe. Like, I'm talking about, you know, 500k plus. It's possible. It definitely is possible. It's not very easy, but it's possible, right? Like, his talent name is literally what it is. It's obliteration. Like, the skill damage melee range 700%, absolutely disgusting. Riptide blast damage at 192%, very disgusting. So if you can somehow crown your Childe or even get his talents up to level 8 plus, definitely recommend if you want to do heavy damage. So it comes to Childe's ultimate. He has two different kinds of ultimate animations, really. Is really the best way to explain it. So he has the range stance, which deals AoE damage. So it swiftly fires a hydro imbued magic arrow, dealing AoE hydro damage and applying the Riptide status, returning a portion of his energy cost after use. And he also has his melee stance, Light of Obliteration, performs a slash with a large AoE dealing massive hydro damage to all surrounding opponents, which triggers Riptide Blast as well. So he triggers the Riptide Blast, and then here he triggers the Riptide Slash. So they're two different, kind of different, but they both do AoE damage, right? So his melee is probably the best one you want to use when it comes to his ultimate, because it has a better percentage, a whole 140 plus. Well, if I can do math, that's not really 40 plus, 130 plus. I know that's math, but it does a more, you know, damage with the melee. So if you want to use a melee one, it's probably the best one for damage. I don't really know the difference too much. I guess the really difference with them is one uses Riptide Blast and one uses Riptide Status. So I'm not really sure. I'm not really a Childe main, but I'm not so sure about that. But all I know is that the melee stance is probably the best ultimate you want to run because it does more damage. So you obviously got to use the Foul Legacy Raging Tide. You got to switch to your swords and then use the ultimate, the Obliteration, and it'll do the melee one. And if you're on your bow, it'll do the range stance. So there's that with his ultimate. Most of his damage is really where it comes to his Raging Tide. So if you didn't know, this is what you use to get his kind of water sword blades. Best way I can explain it. And you know, it does hydro damage, obviously, charge attack, hydro damage, but the Riptide Slash is really where it's at. So hitting an opponent affected by Riptide with a melee attack unleashes a Riptide Slash that deals AoE hydro damage. Damage dealt in this way is considered elemental skill damage and can only occur once every 1.5%. So basically, when you attack your enemies, you proc this AoE hydro damage, right? If we go to a skill attribute, if we can find the stats like the Riptide Slash, 100%, you know, you can do multiple damage into the enemies. So you're going to be proccing a lot of hydro damage bonus with that Raging Tide, you know, proccing that Riptide effect, right? You can also do it with the bow as well. Like, there's different types of ways. If you charge the bow, obviously, you can use the Riptide Slash. So the E talent, the Raging Tide, is definitely something you want to level up. And I would say the Obliteration, try to level it up high as well. And if you can, like I said, if you can level up this normal attack, you know, it's very helpful for sure, because obviously you're going to be doing normal attacks. So definitely does help you out if you talent level up your normal attack. Passives are very good as well. Extends the Riptide duration by 8 seconds, so very good. And then his other passive is when Tartaglia Childe is in Foul Legacy, Raging Tide melee stance. On dealing a crit hit, normal and charge attack apply the Riptide status effect to the opponent. So, you know, you're basically gonna guarantee the Riptide effect, and obviously with the Riptide effects, you do more damage, more AoE hydro damage, right? So talents wise on Childe is absolutely disgusting, so you really want to make sure you level them up properly and very high if possible. Now when it comes to Childe, there's definitely different teams you can run with Childe. Obviously he is absolutely amazing characters, and if you build a proper team around him, he's even better, right? Obviously I will always put Bennett in every single team comp because he's just that literally the best support in the game. I mean Venti is probably the best support also, but Bennett, you know, with Bennett's attack boost and instant healing, basically Childe just, you know, flourishes with Bennett, right? And you can also do vaporized damage, kind of, not really, but you could sometimes, so there's that as well. And then I think Fisho or either Beto, you know, in any electro character, honestly, you could run Kaching. I don't know how Kaching really works out, but if you can run, like, I think Fisho's probably the best one, like the best support wise when it comes to electro characters. Using Fisho definitely helps out Childe because you're going to be proccing electro charge damage, which equals more damage with Childe because you're always going to be proccing hydro damage to the enemies with Childe, right? So having Fisho and her bird out and then an electro charge damage, you're just going to be doing extra damage, right? So having Fisho proccing the electro damage definitely helps out Childe's damage boost, DPS boost. And then last but not least, I would think Venti is probably the other support you can run. So basically you're running 3 supports for Childe because that's literally what you gotta do with Childe, because he can literally obliterate the whole enemy, you know, the whole battlefield, right? I think the only problem is, you know, you're probably gonna have problem with like maybe Hydro Abyss mages. Yeah, I probably think that's probably the only thing you're gonna have problems with. So obviously if you run domains into them, you probably don't want to run Childe, obviously, but this is probably the best team I would recommend to run with Childe. If you don't have Venti, you could run Jingqiu, 4-star characters. By the way, they are giving out for free in the Chinese New Year event that's going on in Genshin Impact. So make sure you pick up Jingqiu. He's also a very good support with Childe. You know, you're gonna be proccing even more hydro damage bonus with Jingqiu on the battlefield. So having Childe and Jingqiu together with Electro, Fisho, and then Bennett at the same time, you're gonna be doing a lot of damage to the enemies, right? And also you could run Diluc maybe. Diluc and Childe are not too bad itself. You can run something, a team like this maybe, or maybe Fisho instead of her, maybe Venti or something. Because with this, with Diluc, you can, you know, proc vaporized damage, and if you get vaporized damage, you do even more damage, right? Vaporized damage, I think, does more damage than electro charge, if I'm not mistaken. And Diluc and Bennett, obviously a good elemental resonance together, right? So obviously this is a very pay to win team, as you can see in front of you, right? So obviously you might not have these characters. Best free to play options with Childe, Fisho, I would say, and then you would probably run Jingqiu and Bennett. So this is probably the best free to play option with Childe, but like I said, there's many options you can run with Childe. So obviously with every character build, we will be doing a DPS showcase. This was probably really fun to make for me because Childe is very fun to use and his DPS is absolutely disgusting. So we're going to be showcasing his DPS and how good he will be. Obviously, eventually he will come back into banners and I will be summoning for him and trying to get a Childe for my own account, right? So hopefully he can come soon. I would probably predict around in the summertime he might come back, but that's just my opinion, right? Obviously, I don't know what's true, right? So I don't know when he's going to come back, but eventually he should come back because that's just how gacha games work, you know? Feature characters, they leave, but eventually they come back. Genshin is a little bit longer than other gacha games, but like I said, he'll eventually come back, and for sure I will be summoning for him if he does come back. But like I said, we're gonna do a DPS showcase. Hope you guys enjoy. Let's get right into the showcase.
I just can't let you go. Lord knows that I've tried to. You said I was the only one. No one likes being lied to. You made this mess and left me with the pieces. Now I wanna burn all the bridges between us. I can't focus, I can't forget. I've been thinking too much lately. I just need to clear my head. I just need to clear my head.
hopefully this video helped you guys out with your Childe build. Obviously, Childe's been out, you know, for a while now. I think he came out in like November. Was it November he came out? I think it was around that time, or maybe it was October. I'm not very sure. But yeah, I look like a noob using Childe, so I apologize. Most of y'all probably stop watching the video because you probably like, damn, this guy does not know how to use Childe. I tried my best. I look like a noob. I don't have Childe on my account, so obviously I look like a noob, but I did a little bit of research to kind of know his stats and, you know, how he works, and he's absolutely amazing. As you can see, he literally obliterates everything. So if you use him correctly, right, he does absolutely disgusting damage, right? So there's that. Anyways, hopefully this video helped you guys out. Once again, I want to thank my buddy for lending his account to me so that I can do this video for y'all. So hopefully y'all enjoyed these character builds. I know I look like a noob using Childe today. My apologies, but he is absolutely amazing, and hopefully when he comes back, I will be summoning for him and hopefully pulling for him, right? Anyways, that's gonna be it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Really do appreciate the support. Really would appreciate if y'all sub the channel if you guys haven't already. If you guys enjoyed the video, make sure you guys hit that like button. It takes about 1 second of your time. Really would appreciate that as well. Anyways, y'all know the drill. Hit the bell notification, notifies you when I put up a video. That's gonna be it for me. Peace.